We did it. We got to the credits. Wow. What an epilogue. I liked it. It definitely reminded me a lot of the Shin Megami Tensei games, because it's very much dungeon crawling, you know. Yeah, I want to do like how I feel about P3 as a whole now that I've played through the epilogue. I don't think it's like detracted from the game. I do think it answered some things, but I wasn't looking for like more, right? I think if you couldn't accept the fact that my dude, your boy died, then it was a good way of, you know, just if you couldn't be like, if you were just like the crew, then it makes sense. You should play this, definitely. It is extremely difficult. Like, compared to base game, this is different, you know? Memento Mori, yeah. This entire game is Remember Death. But it's very different, you know? I definitely... I liked it overall. I liked it. I would probably recommend it if you were comfortable with the difficulty increase. But it was a slog. Definitely a slog. I didn't think it needed to be quite as long. I understand that, like, that's the draw to this, right? There has to be more content to warrant a new game like this. But I don't think it needed the answer. Straight up fighting. P3 got away with it because he had all the sim stuff. Does this epilogue answer a question posed from the original game or this epilogue? So the base P3 ended with the main character, my dude, your boy, finding the answer to life. And so I imagine it's what is that answer? I guess found the answer. It was the answer to life was friendship and having like it is to die, but it's also other things as well. So it answers that, but I didn't have any questions from P3. I felt like I didn't need them. I didn't like how it ended because I'm not a fan of the main character just dying and eating shit at the end. Even like it was handled well. I'm not a personal fan of it. Yeah, I think it will give some closure to the people that need it, but I don't think it's a requirement when you play P3. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Because I still need to get that freaking that clip. Akihiko said it correctly. There's so many questions and not a lot of answers going on here. Some people didn't know he died. It was so heavy-handed to you though. Like, he was like, "Don't cry," and like, if you were just falling asleep and you were tired, everyone's saying you're sick for 2 days. That doesn't make sense, but... So you could say the purpose of the epilogue was fabricated to justify its creation? Probably. If you just didn't understand what happened to the main character at the end, you can play this, and it would tell you. But yeah, it was kind of like an open-ended thing, I imagine, where, you know, oh no, the main character's not dead, and he's still there. But the game had a lot of symbolism around death, and it seemed like he would die. So yeah, you have to remember that Japan is a low context culture. Hey guys, just want to make a quick note here that Japan is a high context culture and America is a low context culture. But my explanations are going to be the same from here on, so bear with me. So a lot of JRPGs are usually there's a lot of themes hidden, and they're not going to be spelled out to you unless you're looking for them. So definitely, you know, keep that in mind. Would I recommend this game to people? Yes, but there's a caveat of difficulty, and if you need that closure. If you're perfectly fine with how P3 ended, I don't think there's a reason for you to really warrant playing this game. If you play this and you want more of this kind of like gameplay and like how hard it is, I definitely recommend playing Shin Megami Tensei, because this is more in line with the mainline games. It does complicate the story. Complicate's not really the right word, but it definitely adds a lot more issues than I was wanting. Like, all the characters fighting each other, like, it made sense like in the moments, but I don't know, I felt like all of them grew at the same time. Like, they all have the same understanding and all that, and they didn't need to fight. I thought they would just get the key and go to the present. Like, they didn't need to go to the past or anything. And then Yukari, yeah, they explained why she was that way, but I don't justify that. She would show no sign of it at all in P3. So that's just what I'll say. Is the closure honestly worth it though? It's a 30-hour dungeon crawl for such a simple issue. Is the closure worth it? I think if you need the closure, it is good to watch a playthrough. If you just can't accept it, play through it. If you're playing P3 and you're going right into this like I did, it just makes everything a lot longer, and I did find myself getting towards the end of both games wanting to be done. And that's just because I think everything was just so slow. The combat, so I have to compare it to P5, right? I played P5 first, and then I went to P3. Persona 5's combat interface is so nice, because you see everything you can do right at the beginning, and it's just one button press away and one more to confirm. Whereas this one, it's on a wheel, it's a slow wheel, you do the thing, you select your target. So there's like 2 confirmations. Of course, that's nitpicking, but the spacing between everyone's animations, how long the animations take to actually load and do the things, how long the enemies take to do their animations and attacks, it adds up over time, and so it got me. And so when I started fast forwarding, it was a thing I was telling myself I shouldn't do at first, but then after talking about it with, like, you know, Taylor and just getting the thoughts out loud, if I had to fast forward to feel like it wasn't a slog, but I didn't need to fast forward through the walking or anything like that, I feel like that's a problem with the game, not necessarily me. Like, it's a problem with myself because I felt like it was too slow, but I think it was a problem with the game for delivering it that way. But it could also be a limitation of the hardware, right? Like, there's probably only so much you can do on a PlayStation 2 to make it fast. So That's my thoughts, y'all. What? How do y'all feel about it? I hope that I gave y'all the experience of Persona 3 that y'all were looking for, that y'all hoped that I would have. I am very thankful for y'all recommending it to me and just suggesting it, talking about it, hanging out with me here. It's I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of y'all being here. This was a journey. There's a lot of things that happen in real life during the playthrough of this game. It was like 3 months or something. Man, it's definitely something else. You know, I want to put a comparison image of myself at the beginning of Persona 3 to now. Because, you know, I think I lost 20 pounds throughout the course of this playthrough. You know, I myself have changed. So there's that. I'm personally glad I watched you play it, so I can tell people I'm definitely not going to play it myself. Yeah, you got the experience. You know, that's kind of what Let's Plays and long plays are for. You want either, you know, you don't have the money, you want to experience the story. You don't have a means of playing the game, but you want to experience the story. You want to watch someone else's perspective and thoughts on the video. You know, I'm so happy that there's a medium to be able to convey that to someone. Of course, I highly recommend that all of y'all buy Shin Megami Tensei 5 when it comes out, or 3 when it comes out as well. Though we encourage more of these types of games because they do speak on really good issues. Could you argue that it's not really the game's fault as you played the final polished version of the menu system? You could. As you progress in a series, you would hope that it's better than the last, right? Like, that's the ultimate goal of a sequel, is to make it better than the first one. And I do think Persona 5 was a much better game than Persona 3. I can't compare the stories because they're both good, but they're both different things, right? Persona 5 isn't about death, it's about freedom and being able to stick to who you are and not letting others dictate like who you are, what you should be. And Persona 3 is about death and how to interact with it, how to handle it, and remembering that everyone is mortal. No one's immune to death.